This week we'll be talking to the lovely SJ, who is our digital content specialist, and we're talking to her all about things content marketing, what she does, what she likes about it, her areas of speciality, just getting to know her a little bit more. Hi everyone, welcome back to Rebel Reels. Today we are joined by SJ, actually in person this time.
Yes!
Last time it was over Google Meet, wasn't it?
Yeah, and no longer a cardboard cutout.
Yeah, very true. And we're going to be talking about content marketing. So, what form of content marketing is it that you do for us at Rebellion?
Mostly anything that's written. So my focus is on blog content, and I also occasionally get involved with writing web pages. Sometimes there's some email newsletters that need to be sent out that might need to be written, or even event and award applications. So it's a mixture, but most standard is blogs and web pages.
It's just anything you can write, really.
Yeah, if it needs words, then I get a phone call.
And what do you love most about copywriting and content writing?
I really love the challenge that it poses you, because you need to kind of get in the head of the customer at the end of it, and what will they want to know, what do they want, and what is it that they're looking for, and then blending that with what the client wants.
Yeah, I can imagine that can be quite challenging at times, because you don't want to delve into too much of what it is that they like to make it sound boring. You still want it to be engaging for other people to read.
Absolutely, and trying to find that balance of making sure the client's happy and that they're getting what they feel like they need to put out there, but also putting a focus on the user and the person at the end who is going to be reading it, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that are going to be purchasing or working with whatever service. So you need to make sure that they are happy and comfortable with whatever they're getting. So trying to marry those two up is a nice challenge.
And how do you generate your ideas when it comes to doing this? Like, where do you even begin? Like, if someone said to me, write a blog on coffee, for example, I would literally be like, oh my God, what do I do? Like, what's your kind of process? Yeah, into where you get your ideas from and how you start to write it.
I think the first thing in my head is don't be scared to throw out ideas. Yeah. Like, I think sometimes people are too precious over an idea and being like, oh, I need to say an idea and it needs to be almost like fully formed and it needs to be right straight away. Yeah. I think if you treat them too preciously, you're then going to be mulling things over for so long. So remove that and just throw out anything. So if you're thinking about coffee, so you've got all the areas around coffee, like you've got coffee mixers, you've got how to make coffee, you've got where coffee comes from, and you start branching off all of these things, and that's how you kind of generate these ideas. You then blend it in with a bit of what people are searching for, so what people actually want to know about
that's a good
coffee.
Point, actually. You need to make it relatable as to, like you said, what people actually want when they're searching.
Exactly. I mean, you can have a fantastic idea, but if no one actually cares or wants to know about
it's not going to be good.
It doesn't matter. It's not going to move. So I think there's that. And then, you kind of also, the search intent also informs what you're doing. So why are you writing that piece? What's the purpose of it? And then that kind of helps narrow down your ideas as well. Yeah. So it's kind of, in a nutshell, how it comes about. Typically, I think just not being scared to throw out any ideas that could relate to it.
And just thinking about it, I guess even though you don't do SEO, I guess a part of it does actually come into what you do, because the pieces you're writing are to help rank and help the search and everything. Yeah. So
absolutely. SEO does play a part. Not so much the technical side, but more the on-page
the
SEO
structure of everything. Yeah.
Absolutely. That informs how you structure your blog and how you write it, to the point where I think once you've got your keyword and your purpose of the content, you can then write out your headings, and you can go into each aspect at different points. So you can start off, you can ignore your introduction initially, go to heading 3, write that and keep jumping around with wherever you need, and it will still flow because you've got that structure.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So if you're having like a tough writing day where you don't know how to start it, as long as you've got your headings there, you can go in and it all flows and it works. So it's just that getting started sometimes that you just need that little push.
Yeah.
And which is why SEO works really well even when you've got writer's block, because you've got that structure.
Yeah, to help you then
that you have to
get
follow.
into the flow. Yeah. And what would you say is your best bit of, or your favourite bit of writing or blog or whatever that you've written?
Gosh, that's really difficult because, I mean, I do love writing the rebellion stuff.
Yeah.
Purely because we can be so honest and open. Not that no one else is, but we have this tone of voice that's really fun. And I find marketing, for the most part, at times can be quite convoluted with all this terminology, when in actuality it's quite simple at the basis. So being able to like open up and say, well, it's really this simple. It takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
But you follow these steps and you can do it. So that's what I enjoy, being really open and transparent about everything.
Yeah.
And our tone of voice is really fun.
How have you found adapting to that? Because I know with me, with the social media stuff, when I've been doing rebellion stuff, I found it hard to get into the tone of voice of us and of Jade. How have you found that? I feel like you're really good at it.
I think some parts are the fact that I think we sound quite similar at times.
Yeah.
I think it helps that. So for me, I'd almost say I can cut back.
Yeah.
But adding more is like, how far do you go? So I'd say you start off at the top.
Yeah.
And then cut back where you need to. So you almost like go far out.
Yeah, quite over the top.
Yeah. And then
as much as possible, and then if you need to, you can then
exactly. And most of the time you need to edit content anyway. It always goes through a thorough editing process. So always add more and then cut back.
Yeah.
Because you can trim words, you can trim the edges, and you can. Whereas adding to can sometimes be more difficult.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah.
And is there anything you would want to explore outside of copywriting?
Well, I'm a bit of a book nerd.
She does love her books.
Yeah. So I would, and am personally in the process of writing a book, like a fiction book. So I just enjoy all aspects of writing. So
and I guess that's good because that comes hand in hand with what you do.
Yeah.
So
you can kind of approach it from a different angle. You can go more from a storytelling purpose and like this journey, so to speak, which I hate that word. But it really is. You can kind of like, you build on, and like you have to make sure that whatever promises you're making at the beginning of what you're writing, you're fulfilling at the end, that they've kind of came full circle and have been like, oh yeah, no, that's exactly what I needed to know and more. So you kind of like take aspects from that and that storytelling process and blend it in with copywriting and content writing.
That makes sense.
So at least I do anyway. People out there will probably disagree.
Fab. Well, that has been SJ on today's episode. I'm sure you'll see her maybe a little bit more. Might
possibly
end up reeling you into some TikToks as well, potentially.
Probably. Yes.
But yeah, we will see you soon with another episode.